Excellent. So we're just going to go ahead and jump in. This is the presentation that I presented at GPUG Summit in October. So I didn't change the slides yet, but I thought everybody, especially those of us in the Midwest, would appreciate some nice, warm, sunny pictures while you're going through the session today. My name's Mary Lenahan. I'm the Client Account Manager at Crestwood, and I've been there for about 11 years, working with Dynamics GP for over 20 years. And there's my email and my phone number if you want to follow up with anything after the session. I can help you, or your account manager would be glad to help with any of the questions you might have with the products we're going to look at today. Okay, so let's just jump in and look at our agenda. Today we're going to focus on SmartList and navigation lists, but I also want to just show you some really great add-ons to enhance your experience with SmartList and navigation lists, because these are really workhorse tools that everyone uses from day to day. And if you have some specific needs that might be enhanced with some of these add-ons, definitely take advantage of them. So I'm going to show you those and some of the other great SmartList features. We're going to look at export solutions in SmartList. We're going to look at the Encore add-on for advanced SmartList. We're going to look at eOne SmartView. So those of you that work with a lot of big data and you want to get faster response time on your SmartList, take a look at SmartView. We'll look at that with some pretty large data sets. SmartList Designer is a free tool that comes with GP, and you would be able to use that tool to design your own SmartList. And then eOne SmartList Builder is a step above the SmartList Designer tool, which allows you to add additional things, multi-company features, maybe customized go-tos, calculated fields. Those are great tools as well to add on to your SmartList. And navigation lists, if you haven't used those reports before, navigation lists are great to look at the data in a new and fresh way using action panes. So we'll show you the navigation list, and we'll take a look at some of the Excel reports that are available in GP as well. So that's our agenda for today. Let's jump into SmartLists and talk a little bit about, just to get the basics down, make sure that you understand what SmartLists are for. It's basically an ad hoc reporting tool that's going to give you access to the tables in a user-friendly fashion. So you'll be able to see and filter on columns, add favorites, export to Excel, which is the most favorite thing that everyone uses SmartList for. And then maybe you weren't aware that there's go-to buttons and there's Word and Excel forms that you can export to. So let's go ahead and take a look into the demo of the SmartList tool. So we're going to start with Dynamics GP 2018. I have not put R2 on yet, so we're in GP 2018. And to access SmartList, you can go to GP menu and click on SmartList. Now this is the SmartList, and this is what it looks like for probably 2013 forward, so not a lot has changed here. You'll see some new things that we'll talk about as we go along. But just to get started, we're going to take a look under purchasing and take a look at vendors, just to kind of make sure you have all your basics for SmartList down. So in this example, I've got a list of vendors with their city, state, zip, and phone number. And maybe there's some additional fields that I'd like to add. So we can go up to the menu and click on columns. And if you click on add, you can see available columns in here. What I like to do is to go ahead and type the field that I'm looking for if I know what that is. The vendor contact, maybe I want to add that. Maybe I want to add in whether they are a 1099 vendor or not. So I can do that under available columns or all columns. So we'll do 1099 vendor type. And then maybe we'll add in what the current balance is. So I'll type in balance, and I can click on that and add that to my fields. Now I can move them around if I want to. Let's go ahead and put the vendor contact maybe a little closer to the name. And maybe we want to move the current balance up a field. So you can move those around and whatever feels comfortable to where you want to be. Okay, and now I can see here I have added some additional fields. And now maybe I want to filter out and maybe only look at 1099 vendors. So to do that, I'm going to click on, sorry, that is where I want it to be, 1099 type. And I want it to be is not equal to a 1099 vendor. So I'm going to look at all my 1099 vendors, got the double negative going there. Let's click on that. And then you can see from here, I've got a list of my 1099 vendors. This is a good time, and I realize I need one more column. Let's add the column for the tax ID number. Okay, so if you don't see it right here, go to all columns and just type in the field that you're looking for, or you can always filter it down. So tax ID number, I'm doing find next to find the tax ID number. Okay, there, great, I needed that field. Okay, so I can see that I have some 1099 vendors that I probably am going to need to put some information out for them for 1099s for this year, but I don't have all their tax ID numbers. So there's a couple of different ways that you can get that. You could maybe click on this vendor. This one's in Australia, so I probably don't need to worry about them. But maybe this one here in Chicago, maybe I need to put in the tax ID number, and I can just double click on it. It takes me to a go-to button, and it takes me to the tax ID field where I can populate it. Now, what if I don't have the tax ID numbers handy? One of the things that you can do with the SmartList is export these to Excel, of course, and if you wanted to export them to Excel, you could do that. Populate the fields in here if you wanted to, and then you can use this as a way to find out which vendors need the additional tax ID number and then populate them back into the field when you're ready. Otherwise, you could do a Word document, and under Word is a prepare a vendor letter. And this is for if you need to send out a W-9 to capture the tax ID information. So go ahead and click on Next. And I'm going to do a letter for each one of these vendors. Click on Finish. So this creates letters which you can mail out. But just a little tip, I'm not going to be able to show you this today, but if you guys export them to Excel like this, you can do a mail merge in Outlook to actually send a letter to these customers and then attach the W-9. So you can do that via email using the Outlook mail merge feature. Or you can do it like I just did, which is to send them to Word. So let me open up the Word. This is what they look like, and then you can actually mail them out if you're wanting to do that. So a lot of great features in just the generic tool called SmartList. We're going to bring that back up again. You can save a favorite. I like to save a favorite, give it a name here, and I can say Mary, and maybe share it with other people in my company. Maybe I want to put in a password. This is a 2018 feature, I believe, where you could put in password in so that no one can change your SmartList. Another thing you might do is click on Add. And then you could create a reminder for yourself. So if I want to look at this 1099 list of vendors, I want to do that if there's greater than one record in there. And I could even put in a feature that says, tell me if the tax ID number is blank. Okay. And to do that, we just click on Search, and you say where the 1099 tax ID, where'd it go? Tax ID. The tax ID is equal to blank. Okay, so then I just get the list of the ones that are blank, if that makes things a little bit easier. So great way you can use some of these features in SmartList. And the other tool that I want to show you is the Go To button. This will get you to the transactional inquiry data, the yearly summary data. This is a good field for you to look at for 1099 information too. So calendar year, calculate. So just great ways to move around using the SmartList. So let's go ahead and look at some other features outside of the basics in SmartList. So some of those hidden features. Let me go back to my PowerPoint. And one of the tools that people probably haven't used much is called Export Solutions. This gives all of those folks that are really into creating macros in Excel a way to bring the data right from SmartList into Excel, manipulate the data using the macros that you normally do, whether it's to build some great pivot tables or maybe some charts that you like to work with once you've exported them into Excel. So create the SmartList, export it to Excel, create your macros, erase the data, and then save it. And we'll show you setting up the options under Export Solutions. When you've done that, we can just export to the export solution instead of Excel. And I'm going to walk you through those steps. Okay, and this is a macro created spreadsheet that I got from a friend of mine at eOne. So I will show you how that works. Now the export solution that I'm going to use is on financial account transactions. Okay, so I'm going to take you there. This is where we started from, and I've created a SmartList called Trial Balance, and this basically is bringing in all of my trial balances, and I'm going to go and double check this so that, well, I guess just 2,000 records, but to double check and change the maximum records, you can put in here multiple you can put in, I think it's 9 million or something is the maximum, but this is where your maximum records for this smart list is. You can change it at the options if you want to for all of your smart lists. And then what we're going to do is show you under Export Solutions that I've created this smart list and I linked it to a spreadsheet called Account Transactions. And then I'm going to be able to see all the macros in that spreadsheet and use them within my smart list. So when I'm ready to export it to Excel, it creates this account transaction lookup macro or export solution. And it's exporting my 2,000 records, more than 2,000 records, because I changed it to 999, into Excel. So maybe I should have changed it to less fields. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop it because that's probably enough fields for us to work with. So it's exporting to Excel now, 15,000 records. Now this is one of those times where you might say, Mary, that's really taking a really long time. Is there a way I can speed up my export solutions? And you can, and it's called SmartView, and we're going to get to SmartView in just a minute. So hold on while I'm waiting for my 15,000 records to export to Excel. I don't know if anybody has any questions so far while I'm taking a drink of my tea. And anybody have any questions so far, Amber?
Yeah, I have some questions. One, is the SmartList search to add fields, is it a starts with or contains search?
There's both. There's one for starts with and there's one for contains. Let me see if I can open this while this is working. Oop. I wish I could open it up while it's working, but if you can do that with SmartView. So another one of those features that SmartView does give you. I'm going to stop it because that's enough records for us to look at. Okay, so here is my macro enabled spreadsheet that I created. And this is the macro piece of it, is the ability to have criteria in here. And we'll come back to those other questions in just a minute, Amber. So I can do here is basically created my own way to sort through the data for folks that are outside of GP, folks that can't get to GP, but they would still like to look at the data. And you can do that with SmartView. I sound like a record, don't I? All right, so 31. I'm going to look at some data from 2023. And then now I basically filtered that out and I'm just looking at 2023 data. And if I wanted to say, hey, why don't I look at just the account description that contains cash? I can do that too. Oops, sometimes it's case sensitive, so I want to make sure I'm doing that right. Okay, so now I basically filtered it down to just transactions that relate to cash within this summary transaction. So just a really quick way to export your data and make it accessible for users outside of GP. The export solutions is what I showed you, and that is free. I can take another question while I'm moving over to the next thing if you want to, Amber.
Okay, we'll jump in and say, in GP, when you export to Excel from a smart list and then update the Excel spreadsheet, can you then import it so it updates the smart list?
No, unfortunately, that's not a feature that's available in GP. There's a tool called Integration Manager that you can do that with, or if you had Smart Connect or Scribe, those tools could write back into GP. But unfortunately, the tool that I just showed you won't do it out of the box, unfortunately. But that was a good question.
Okay. I've got one more. Do you want to take that now or do you want me to hold it?
Sure, let's take that one too. Yeah,
all right. Do you know offhand the field name for that SmartList would give the GL distribution for a payables transaction?
That is a very good question, and I'm going to show you a demo of that when we get a little bit further along in the transaction. So make sure that you're watching when I go through SmartList Builder, because I have built a SmartList Builder tool that does exactly what you're asking for. So okay. I will show you that in just a minute.
Awesome.
Great question.
Okay, thanks, that's
yeah,
it.
Thanks so much. And what I've done in each section too is tried to give you guys some more additional information about the tools that I showed you. So for SmartList and Export Solutions, download the user guide. A lot of great information in there for using SmartList, and you can just click on those. This is a customer source link, but if you don't have a link to customer source, please ask your account manager and they can get you access to it. Open Forum is another tool on GPUG that allows you to look at all the transactions. You can't enter questions unless you're a GPUG member, but you can, of course, read any of the questions and answers that are out there. The Dynamics community is maintained by a lot of Microsoft employees as well as partners. So that's another tool for you to get more data, not related to GPUG, but another community that you can get data from. And YouTube is a great resource for showing you how to use this export solution tool. There's 3 or 4 out there that I think are really great examples. The next thing I'm going to show you is called Encore Advanced SmartList. And this is a great, really cheap add-on for SmartList that allows you to do filtering, click and dragging for grouping, and right-click for subtotaling, which is another great tool people really ask a lot about. Can I do subtotals? I have to export to Excel, then I have to do subtotals. How do I get away from that? This advanced SmartList tool is a great way to do that. It also can create a snapshot of your data. So if you want to have more than one data set open at the same time, you can do that. And exporting to Excel retains those groupings and subtotals. So let's take a look at that tool. And again, I'll just go over to GP, and we are going to look at SmartList again. Now I have SmartList, an advanced SmartList disabled right now, but I'm going to go ahead and turn that on. Okay, and we are going to show you a tool to use this. All right, hold on a second. Seems to have locked up. There we go. Now we're back. Okay, and the report that I want to show you under Advanced SmartList is under Sales. So we're going to look under Sales, and we are going to take a look at sales line items because there's a lot of data in there. And we're going to go ahead and refresh this here. Got a lot of data in here, so bear with me here. We'll just work with a few first 1,000 lines or so of the data. And it's coming in. Okay, so what this report does basically is it's showing me all of the items that I've sold, and I have the customer number here, and I have the stop type. Now look at this. Maybe if I want the customer number over here, look at this. I can click and drag it. Isn't that awesome? Can't do that with SmartList. And it's great because maybe I wanted to filter out maybe just invoices. I can click over here. There's a little filter button and click on just invoices. And now I can see all the invoices. Let's go ahead and group that, show you the grouping feature by customer. And now I can see all of my invoices for Aaron Fitz. And if I want to do a subtotal, you just right click, maybe under quantity, but you can do sums, min, max, counts, and averages too. So I'm going to add some subtotals here for my cost and extended price. So I can do some more research there. Another thing that would be nice is maybe to see what items that a customer bought. So items by customer. Look at that. Now I've filtered and I can see how many times that they bought this fax machine or how many times they bought this fax machine. So it's just great ways to really quickly move your data around and see what's going on with that data in another refreshed field. Of course, you can export it to Excel. Let's do that. We'll go with the currency symbol or without the currency symbol. Either way is fine with me. And it exported it to Excel for me here, and it maintained those groupings and settings. So if you're one of those people that always forgets how to group stuff and how to subtotal things, it's really easy for you to do it in SmartList, and then you just don't have to worry once it gets in Excel. Another thing that you could do is take a snapshot of the data. So if I snapshot the data here, I have the ability to look at the way it was before and sorted this way. So I just need to filter that. And then over here, I can actually flip it around. So maybe I'd like to see items by customer. I just flip them here. Now I've got subtotals by item. So my 100 XGL phones, and I sold this many to this customer, this many to this customer. Isn't that cool? How many people want to buy Advanced SmartList? We'll take orders over the phone. Just a great tool, and it's really pretty inexpensive. For $800, you can get that add-in for Advanced SmartList plus a 20% enhancement. So you can download it for free today and use it with your Fabricam sample company. That's in GP. Or if you want to trial, they'd be glad to share that with you as well. The user guide will tell you exactly all these features are and what you need to use them for. So hopefully you guys like that add-on for Advanced SmartList from Encore. There's some additional add-ons for SmartList that you can purchase too. One of the ones I want to show you next is called SmartView. It's from eOne. eOne has some great add-on tools for GP. They do Smart Connect, SmartView, SmartList Builder. They have a lot of great add-ons for GP. SmartView is great because you can access it in fractions of a second. You'll see that. I'll do some time trials with you, and you'll see how fast the data is exported using SmartList. And you can also use an unlimited number of filters for you. I just need to close something really quick, and then I'll come right back to you guys. Sorry about that. I pushed the wrong button. I apologize. I just need to, this is one of those weird little tricks that I need to do while you're not paying attention, but I need to rebuild, I need to reboot SmartList or SmartList real quick, and it's not letting me do that really quick. So let me try and do this from here. I need to reboot it so that we can have everything work the way I want it to in the demo. Okay, great. So let me just open up again. While that's going, you can see that you can use unlimited number of filters. You can have it export to Excel very quickly. And I know I've sat at clients' desks and they're using SmartList and it takes a really long time. So SmartView is the answer to that. And it also allows you to create users that can use SmartView outside of GP. So if you have a lot of folks that want to play with the data themselves, give them access to SmartView, which can exist either inside or outside of GP. It's a great tool. And we're going to go ahead and launch that now. Take a look at it. Okay, and I've got GP open, and I've got it open twice. Sorry about that. And I just need to log in really quick. Okay, so I'm using SmartView in this session here, so I just want to make sure that it would work right for everybody. Okay, so SmartView is accessible from the GP menu. So click on GP and SmartView. Okay, so SmartView looks a little different than SmartList, but you'll be able to figure out all the features very quickly. And what I'm going to show you today is under the financial section, under account transactions. So we've got a really quick list of the first 1,000 records, but I'm going to change that so that we can really see how it speeds along here. So I'm going to change it to 999,000, save that. Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed that, but 22,000 records came in 0.52 seconds, 0.52 seconds. I don't know if you ever tried to run 22,000 records in SmartList before, but let's do that really quick. So let's go to SmartList, open SmartList, and go to the same records, go to financial and account transactions, and I'll pull it out for the first 22,000. I mean, let's do 999 again. 999, 999. Okay, click OK. And 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. I don't know about you guys, but I'm already tired of waiting. So you can just see how much faster it is to use SmartView. And other features in SmartView, let me just close this out of the way. We've got Advanced SmartList still up, and I need to close that. Okay. I can't get to it. There we go. Okay. You can turn on or turn off Advanced SmartList if you want to. So there's my SmartList. Where's SmartView? Back over here. So SmartView has the features that you're definitely going to want to use because it gives you that speed factor. If you export it to Excel, look at the speed here. I'm going to go to the account transactions document. Exporting to Excel just takes seconds again too. So there's my 22,000 records in the spreadsheet. Maybe that was a second. I'm not really sure, but it was very fast. Okay, so I'm back in SmartList, SmartView, and I'm looking at transactions. I want to look at things maybe for an open year. And over here are all the fields that I can bring in. And I'm going to go down and bring in originating master name, which is a nice field to have if you're looking at general ledger data, because it'll bring in vendors and customers. Another thing you might want to bring in is the document number. So if you want to bring in the invoice number, sales invoice or purchasing invoice, this is great. And you can do some of the same things. I can filter on transaction date. So I can come over here and I can say, let's use the previous fiscal year. So now I've got 2026 data in here. Maybe I want a specific account number that I'd like to work with. I'm going to pull in 2100 so I can pull in the payables information. And you can see here I've got the payables vendor information in the originating master name field. So I can drag that up here, and then I can sort by transactions by vendor, and I can see when they went into the payables system. Now, it doesn't answer the question that someone had about the payables the expense account, which I'll get to that when we do a SmartList Builder report, but we're getting there, getting to that point. So this is really great because you can do it automatically subtotals for you. It's already there for you. You can refresh, send to Excel. You can edit even more data. I pretty much was building this filter editor by just clicking on different fields, but you can also add additional ones in here if I want to look at, a specific dollar amount, or if it came from a specific field, you can definitely add those too. Okay, so this is, and you can add your favorites too by giving it a name, just like you do on SmartList. Mary. Okay, and then who's going to have access to it. You can also do it across companies, which is great. I only have the one company, but you could have this report work for multiple companies, cross companies, which you cannot do with SmartList. Maybe we'll do it for all users, I'll save that for all users. Now I have that report ready to run whenever I want to. Another thing that you can do is you can open it again. So if I go into back to GP and I open another session of SmartView, I can have more than one data set open at the same time. So I can work with SmartView over here. Oops, SmartView. Here it is. So I have this SmartView available, and then I have another SmartView over here. Maybe I want to look at purchasing information. So it's just really quick. You can have data available in 2 different windows. If you had a big, huge monitor, this would be great, but I'm just working from my laptop today. All right, great. So that's SmartView. Again, an excellent product available from eOne, and it's $2,500 for the on-premise license. And that includes plus your enhancement. And if you're on subscription licensing, it's $175. You can try it for free with Fabricam, like I'm showing you here, or if you need more information, you can download the user guide that's available with the download, but it's really pretty straightforward to use. What's the difference? People might say, what's the difference between SmartList and SmartView? SmartList is basically available with GP, comes for free. It's your basic reporting tool, and it's kind of slow with large data sets, and you have only 4 filters available, and the data that you have access to is a little limited to the the builds that have already, or the views and those things that have already been created for you. If you want to add additional views or add tables, third-party products, those kind of things, you can use that SmartList Builder or SmartList Designer to add those. SmartView is great. It does come as an add-on to GP, but it is available to users outside of GP, which I think is huge. And it basically replaces a SmartList. You don't have to use SmartList anymore. You can use SmartView. Just think it's great because it's very easy to group with. And the exporting speed is fantastic. So exporting to Excel is a lot faster. Bringing up is really fast. And again, if you wanted to open up to people that don't have a GP license, or you don't want them to be in GP, SmartView allows you to give them that data at a really fast performance. Okay. I mentioned SmartList Designer, and that's a tool that we can use to create our own reports from SmartList. So if you have a report that doesn't necessarily show you all the fields you want, or maybe you'd like to use a third-party products tables and you can't get that from SmartList, you would need SmartList Designer or SmartList Builder. There's 2 different products and we'll kind of compare them. SmartList Designer is free. It comes from GP, and its ability to modify existing SmartLists. It also combines tables and uses the SQL views. And you do need to have a little knowledge of the GP tables to be able to use the Designer product. Comes with a preview feature, which I think is kind of nice. So I'm going to show you a demo of the SmartList Designer tool. So in this version of GP, I have a list of customers. So I go to customers, and I created one called customers in Illinois. And obviously that's my own folder, right? So it's something that I created. And you can click on modify. And this is the SmartList Designer tool. What I did here was I started with a list of customers, and it has the customer fields, customer name, address, zip. But then I wanted to bring in the salesperson ID and the sales territory, which are not in the customers table. So I needed to add the RM customer master. This is a really simple report, you guys. Just a really simple report to show you that I can link the customer master to the customer summary table. And then I put in a permanent filter to show me all the Illinois customers. And then what's nice about SmartList Designer has this execute query button, and you can see at the bottom if you got the joins correct or if you have the parameters right, if your fields are where you want them to be. Okay, so this is your preview feature. And then over here, once you have it created, it looks exactly like a SmartList object, and it creates its own folder. You can create your own favorites over here, and it works just like a SmartList. So SmartList Designer is a great tool for you to do some adding tables together, adding new features, using the SmartList features that are available, but adding new tables to them. Okay, so that's the SmartList Designer tool. I go ahead and log out of this session. And we're going to jump back into the PowerPoint, show you where you can find out more information about the SmartList Designer. The user guide is available on the community website. And of course, if you want to find more information, go to YouTube or the community forums and look up SmartList Designer. And since SmartList Designer came out in 2013, there's been some talk about, okay, there's SmartList Builder, now there's SmartList Designer, which one should I use, which one should I take advantage of? A lot of people have used SmartList Builder for a long time, and they already own it, and they really should use that one because it has more features. It has the multi-company capabilities. It has the ability to do some custom restricted fields, calculated fields and go-to fields. Some of these, they keep adding more features to SmartList Designer, but it's never going to be to the same level as SmartList Builder. And SmartList Builder is pretty easy to learn. You don't need to learn SQL scripting or anything. And it does have some of those functionality, but the big difference, I think, between SmartList Builder and SmartList Designer is the multi-company SmartList and just the ease of use of SmartList Builder. And we'll show you that because I'm going to create a report for you in SmartList Builder. There's also import templates that are available. So if you are interested in using some templates that SmartList Builder users have already created, go to the eOne website and download them. Take a look at things that have already been built. Why recreate the wheel if you've got a report that you can download for free that does exactly what you need, or it can be tweaked with SmartList Builder. The big difference also between SmartList Builder and SmartList Designer is that in SmartList Builder, you can change your Excel reports, you can change the drill downs, you can change your navigation lists. So not only are you just modifying SmartList, you have 3 other options to modify the output from GP. So let's take a look at SmartList Builder. So I've got SmartList Builder, I've got a report in here that I've created. And again, I'm going to open up SmartList. So I'm going to SmartList. And then I have some SmartList that I downloaded from eOne's website just to show you guys. There's a fixed asset purchase one. So if anybody's using fixed asset, this is a great report to get you to see the data that's available in the purchase window. Okay, so this could be probably prettied up a little bit, but it's showing you what still needed to be added to the SmartList. Here's a report, PM distributions with GL detail. I'm going to use this report in just a second. And then salesperson history. So just these are all free sample reports that I downloaded in case there's something that you would like to use as well. Okay, so if we go to purchasing and we look at my SmartList Builder report that I built called AP distribution, this is where I was mentioning to the person that had the question before, how I can tie payments back to the original invoice and the expense account related to that payment. And a good example, and this is a very common question, a good example of what I would use this for is analyzing legal fees. So if I want to be able to see, at year end, what were my legal fees paid to the legal fee account, the GL account for legal fees, which is $67.30, and I want to see all the vendors that I paid and the dollar amount, this is a report that you could just download, and you can create this report using SmartList Builder. Okay, so SmartList Builder is a great tool. You could probably build this with Designer, I'm not going to lie, but I thought it was really easy to use with some step-by-step instructions from Victoria Uden's website. She's a rock star. She's an MVP of GP, and she has some really great data, which I'll show you in just a minute at her website, and how to get that information. So if I click on AP distribution, and I click on Modify, this is going to show you the SmartList Builder window. Now it looks a little different than the SmartList Designer window, and in this case what I've done is I've built a report based on a view. Now I'm not sure if everybody knows what a view is, but it's basically a virtual table that pulls together fields from multiple tables and puts them where you want them for this report. So in this case, I'm bringing in a view that Victoria Uden provided with GL account numbers, payment information, and vendor information, all in the same report or SmartList Builder report. So, and you can see the fields that I've got. I've got vendor information, I've got payment information, I've got GL accounts from the vouchers, you know, the payables, invoices. I can see the debits and the credits. I can see the other side of the entry. Great view. And this view was created by Victoria Uden, and I'll show you how to get it too if you want to get it. This is where you would modify your columns. If I want the columns to be in a different order, just click on the columns button. If I want to create go-to buttons, you can create your own go-to buttons in SmartList Builder. You can have it launch another SmartList or a website or a different window, which is a form. You could do that. You could create restrictions. I didn't put any restrictions on this SmartList because I wanted to be able to look at for multiple accounts, but you could put in different restrictions in here. You would just add what table they're coming from, which field they're coming from, and what the parameters are. You can build your own calculated fields. So if I wanted to bring in and do some math on any of these columns, you can do that. Okay, so SmartList Builder has a lot of great features, and it's all in the same kind of look and feel that you're used to with GP. So let's go ahead and work with this report for just a second. So under my AP distribution, you can see all the fields that are coming in there, and all I did for this one was basically tell you all the fields that are available on the check information. These are the first few columns here, and then over here is the check number, the check amount, and then apply to information. This is the key. This is the hard part. This is the part that's tricky when you ask for these requests, is the apply to information links the check number to the invoice. And then over here are the document numbers and the dates that you might need, and then what the amount was, and the GL account that it hit. Okay, and then just look again at that legal fees one that I built as a subset of that. So basically what I did was I said search for the account name called legal, and then I just moved some of the fields around so that it would show them the account number, name, date, and then I dropped off some of the tables that you don't need, the fields that you don't need. So SmartList Builder is a great tool for utilizing some of the different tables and views that you might have available to you, or pulling in third-party product and across multiple companies. That's the one thing that I think really does a great job at. And here's a quick analysis of the differences between Designer and Builder. It's probably changing all the time because Microsoft keeps adding new features to Designer, but SmartList Builder on this side definitely lets you add SQL objects from non-GP databases, including Extender if you use an Extender, and you can change your navigation lists, you can change your multi-company features, you can have duplicate lists at the same time. So if you need to find more information about that tool, it's on eOne's website, and SmartList Builder and SmartList Designer differences, but the price of SmartList Builder is only $1,950 plus enhancement. If you're on subscription licensing, it's $50 a month. And again, download it, use it for free. You know, use the user guide to see what the differences are. We've been selling SmartList Builder for years as a tool, and still think it's superior to the Designer tool, but it definitely gives you a lot of features. One thing that we're going to look at second to last here is a navigation list. So on the navigation list, a tool that a lot of people aren't aware of, it's on the area pages. There's action panes, and there's ability to look at master records, transactions. You can take actions on those records, and you can create your own lists, and you can see reports from there, as well as emailing out Word forms. So just going to jump into the navigation list and show you some of these features too. We're going to walk through these in the demonstration. So I'm going to jump back into GP and show you where these hidden navigation lists are. So if you click on the area page that you're interested in, each one of these has navigation lists. In case you were wondering what these were before, this is a list of all of your navigation lists, and they're there for purchasing, they're there for sales. And on the sales side, I'm going to be working with sales this time. I have a list of customers, and maybe if you looked at these, you're like, well, there's really not too much exciting information here. But maybe I want to use this customer list and create a report that maybe I could analyze my customers by salesperson. The first thing to remember with navigation list is that you have to make a copy. All the read-only ones you cannot work with. You can't make any changes to them. So go ahead and click on Save As. I'm going to call this salesperson report. Okay, so now that I've saved it, I can personalize it and customize it. And over here are different ways you can customize it. We're going to go to columns, and I'm going to add in some additional information. Let's put in city, state, salesperson, territory. Maybe I'll bring in current balance. Now, if you don't see all of the fields you'd like to see, SmartList Builder can help you modify these. There's a navigation list builder too. So another bonus to using SmartList Builder. Click on that, click OK, we'll save that. There's a preview feature there too. Okay, this is great. So now I can see that I have a great amount of data here that I can work with. Now, one of the things that you can do is this quick find over here. So if I want to see all my customers in Illinois, I can click on that and it'll bring me all customers in Illinois, but also if they have IL in their name. So that's not going to be too helpful. So let's go over to add filter, and there are multiple filters, more than 4. You can have pretty much as many as you have fields to work with. So you can definitely do more than 4. For this one, let's just kind of focus on looking at customer. I want to do salesperson, where salesperson contains Paul, because I'm going to look at Paul's data. So Paul's one of our super salespersons, but they have customers with some pretty large balances on here. So let's filter that down where the customer balance is greater than and includes $10,000. Let's look at those ones that are $10,000 or more. Okay, so I've got that. Now I've got more and more workable list to deal with here. So if I'm Paul, I can see my top customer here is $47,000 balance. It's pretty big. So let's kind of see how I can work with these customers. If I'm a salesperson, I'm going to go ahead and highlight all those customers, and then I'm going to run a report. There's some reports that you can run. I'll print the historical age trial balance, and this is just my customers, and I'm going to age them as of 12/31/2026. Again, I'm 10 years in the future here, and I'm going to run that report to the screen for you guys so you can see it. So this is a detailed list of all of those transactions that are my customers that are over $10,000. So you can't do that with a regular historical age trial balance because they have to be in sequence. So this is a great way to get the things in the right order that you want and then export the report. Maybe I want to put these customers on hold because, I mean, obviously they're doing great business with us, but they're not paying fast enough. So maybe I want to put, customer on hold. I can put the Kimberly Johnson customer on hold right from this window. I can even print a statement from here. I could print a statement. I could decide, really like to work some more with them. Maybe I want to do a new invoice for them. So I can click on invoice and it'll open up the window that's with the appropriate customer number popped in. It's another great way to work with that. Oh, it's telling me it's on hold. That's great. It's telling me I can't put any invoices on because they're on hold. That's great. Great information. Another thing that you can do is do the all-in-one view. So if you've used this feature, this is great because it quickly takes you to a view of all the quotes, orders, invoices, cash receipts for this customer. And you can drill back into it from here. Okay, so go ahead and save that. I like this too because it reminds you, hey, I haven't saved this yet. My salesperson report needs to be saved. And then I can also, I can create other reports too from that. I can just make a copy of it. So this is a great tool. I think people should use it more often. It's free. So this navigation list is free. And I definitely want you guys to take a look at that and start working with that. There's a preview feature over here. I can drill into the customer card from here. And there's go-to buttons. So I can click on go-to and I can see all the transactions. And this opens up another navigation list with transactions of There's no transactions on that customer for right now. Okay, so I am going to show you just one more thing. Extra bonus thing is the Excel reports. So when we come over here to the navigation list that you now know where they're all at, right on the area pages, there's a list of all your Excel reports. And some neat features for those of you guys that are on 2013 and higher, there is a dashboard feature in here that you might want to take a look at. So this gives a list of all of your Excel reports, and you can use these to pull some data out. But basically what we're doing here is looking at some great dashboarding information that's available for you. And on the dashboard, you can see salespersons, top 5 customers, top 5 salespeople. This is free. This tool is free. And you can see it's dynamic data because as I move the times around, the data actually moves around for me there on the top salespersons and the aging amounts. So take advantage of those Excel reports. And if you don't have those Excel reports loaded into your system, ask your CAM if we can get those set up for you because it doesn't take very long. And there's some great reports in here. There's average days to pay, customer balance. Take a look at those, see if there's any of those that we can either help you tweak or make them work for you. And that's all I got today, Amber. You got any more questions?
All right, awesome. We can wait a little bit longer to see if anybody has any more questions as we wrap up here, but so far we don't have anything else.
Okay, great. Well, I'll just kind of wrap up and then say that, of course, more information is available from the System User Guide for navigation lists and those other resources that we have out there. Victoria Uden is a Microsoft MVP that we talked about. She has a great website. It's victoriauden.com. She has lists of scripts and views that she basically provides for free. So if there's something that you're looking for in particular, go check it out. She also has step-by-step instructions on how to use SmartList Builder with a SQL view. And those are very helpful. And you can also use SQL views in Designer. So don't think you have to use those instructions for SmartList Builder. Some other websites that I recommend are Mark Polino. He's a great person he's got 50 tips in 50 minutes, always really popular session. And also there's other MVPs like Belinda Allen, Mariano Gomez, just lots and lots of people that are sharing their GP knowledge every day for free. And check out the community because their websites are available there. And be sure to download the handout because all of this information is available and those hyperlinks are in there. Great. Do we have any more questions? Amber,
Awesome.
Anything that somebody wants to see?
No.
Okay.
Well, we have one question that just came in that says, how do I become a part of GPUG?
Oh, good question. So GPUG is a user group community that's been developed. It's a non-Microsoft group, but Microsoft is a part of it. It's not sponsored by Microsoft. It's supposed to be for users. And there is, if you go to gpug.com, gpug.com, you'll be able to see what it costs to join. It's based on the number of GP users that you have. So if you have like under 5, it's X number of dollars per year. And I think like 5 to 10 is about $800 per year. And it can include membership for all of your employees. Okay, it's not per person, it's per company and per GP license, really. So go ahead and gives you free access to webinars. There's tons of webinars out there, free data that you can download, free forum for adding questions, and discounted rates on the conferences. So there's a conference every year. There's several conferences. There's one in March called Amplify. There's one in the fall called Summit. And then there's quarterly ones in your local region. So if you're in Florida, if you're in Michigan, if you're in Illinois, there's a user group that meets quarterly and they would love to have you come and visit and talk with other GP users.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you, Mary. I guess we can go ahead
no problem.
Today. I want to do one little promotional shout out for anybody who's still on the line. We do have our year-end events coming up. I put the link to the information about that in the chat. So go ahead and click that link. And if that's something that that anybody's interested in, please sign up. Those events are free. And they're super helpful. We get really good feedback on those every year. So be sure to check those out. And other than that, I guess we can go ahead and wrap up. The recording of this will be online within the next 24 hours. And if you have any other questions, please reach out to Mary. Her contact information is in that deck. Reach out to your CAM, and hopefully we'll see you at the next one. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching. To learn more about our products, visit www.crestwood.com. Hope to see you there soon.